that has to be taken care of. I have a friend who would say it's someone who has to pay these bills. You know, when you say, you don't have time, I haven't seen you in a while, and then she'll say to you, someone has to pay these bills. And going by her judgment, you would realize that she's making a whole lot of sense, and she's saying a whole lot of things by just that sentence. So I hope that you're not taking it too hard, and you are not taking it out on yourself by not doing anything about it. The country is going through even more and more subjugation in terms of spoken expression. Most Nigerians have been shocked to their bone marrows, even if you do not believe it, but it is true. A lot of us feel subdued. A lot of us feel very tired at this time because the signs and the handwriting on the wall might be, signaling that this might be a lost battle, where we seem to have found ourselves as a nation. The procession of events that we have recorded in the past months has been quite stifling and shocking for many Nigerians. So I have noticed a certain calm in the momentum of Nigerians. It's news that brings you down after another. I'm sorry to say that, but I can't be the one reading them out to you and not tell you the truth about the reality of what's been happening. Right? I'm having these conversations with you over the weeks, and we're going about it. It's running into months. The stories are connecting. The implications are right there in your face. The meaning of the things we're talking about is happening right. It's not like we're blindfolded. It's not like, we're deaf and dumb. It's not like we're stupid. It's not like we're daft. It's happening right in our faces. And some of us know what it means. Some of us understand what's happening. And that's the part that's demoralizing the people. It's the helplessness, it's the tiredness, it's the exhaustion, it's the hunger. It's got us mentally down. The things that we are seeing, the things that are happening, it's enough to weigh you down, even if you're still in denial about it, even if you really don't agree, even when you pretend that you might be safe from it, even when you assume that you're protected from it. It's your communities, it's your brothers and sisters, it's people you like, it's people you never saw coming. Everybody is under some sort of held down, under some sort of chain, under some sort of bondage. People are wondering what is going to happen. The insecurity is mind-blowing. It's there every day. If you're traveling, you literally need to consult all kinds of spiritual protection. That's what we've turned our roads into. Places where you either prepare to very spiritually fortify yourself to use our roads, or you financially fortify yourself to pay some ransom in case you're caught or you're kidnapped or something. There is always something. There is always you getting into trouble. There's someone willing to jump into your house in the middle of the night without a lot of information, without accurate information. They're willing to traumatize your family by finding the weirdest ways into your house in the middle of the night. And you're not allowed to defend yourself because now you're coming after the security agents. The Nigerian story continues to be shocking and baffling. And it's sad to see. We're going from scandal to scandal. We're going from bad experience to bad experience. One wonders where the light at the end of the tunnel is. Is it still something we say because it's true, or it's just something we say to make ourselves feel better? Join me this morning. Let's analyze the news. Let's look at the newspaper headlines. Let's see what's happening in our country this morning. Let's continue from where we stopped, and let's see what branches, what arms and legs, the stories we already know have grown in the past 2 days that we haven't been able to converse about it extensively. Let's start this morning with the Vanguard. Don't forget that this program goes live on YouTube every day. You can find us on High Voltage News. To join the conversation, please do us a favor, like, subscribe, and share what's on this channel. You'll be helping us get to a more broader audience, and also to get the Nigerian message also to Nigerians in the diaspora who need this information in such details, because they don't really hear a lot of the things that happen here out there. They just hear what most times the national media says, but they don't hear stories from back home and experiences from back home like we do. So share this information so that everybody can have an idea what's going on at home. All right, you can also join me live into the studio to share your thoughts and your contributions with me this morning. 0706 048 5853. You can also call 0915 570 8347. The Enugu State government this morning has made a very strong revelation about what it thinks about populist policies and what it might do to the real estate government in the real estate business in Enugu State. This is also a very saddening news to tenants in Enugu who have cried out to the governor about the very terrible situation of housing and accommodation in the state. I would read you the story just once again so that you would hear from the Enugu State government itself. The Enugu State Landlord and Tenant Bill of 2025 is a proposed piece of legislation that is now in its final reading in the Enugu State House of Assembly. The bill aims to amend Enugu State's landlord and tenant law to address issues surrounding tenancy disputes, rent control, and legal fees. However, beneath this populist approach lies the potential for severe economic repercussions that could in Enugu's real estate, which has made strides under Governor Peter Mbah to cultivate an investor-friendly environment, risk reversing the progress with populist policies that could stifle vital growth in the housing sector. From my understanding, the Enugu State government is choosing its business interests over the populist interest of Enugu State. So it means that the Enugu State is choosing the Enugu State real estate sector success. That's the business. It's choosing its business rather than the cries of the people. It's not saying if there are going to be any amendments of any kind. It's just saying that looking into the cries of the people would just affect the real estate business. And, it's not necessarily good for anybody. So from the sound of this, it looks like, things would remain as they are, as the people are encouraged to meet up with the status quo of the economy, not necessarily to be alleviated or to be helped or to be encouraged or to be supported in any way. Just kind of like find your way around it, because at the end of the day, the sector, the real estate sector of Enugu State must be sustained. Business first. All right, your sentiments and all of that, it sounds like it's not priority. Sorry, it's in the news. I was very happy when this particular piece of information first floated the media, that the government was willing to look into it and kind of like try to aid the people and ease it off just a little bit. What we're hearing this morning is like, this populist approach, in it lies potential for severe economic repercussions. So having to alleviate the people of their sufferings is an economic repercussion that could stifle investment in Enugu State. And that is such a terrible risk for the government to take at this time. Apologies to everyone involved. The phone lines are officially open. You can join me. Let's look at other stories that has made headlines this morning. Let's think about it. Let's analyze the situation. Let's try to understand. Is the government saying something else, or does it look like the populist approach? It's not necessarily good for business. There's a lot of arguments that goes into this. The government is right. The people are right. And the government has given you there are reasons as well as to why this is not going to work. So probably we are to remain as we are, and a lot of people will continue to lose homes, and you will have to work just to pay these high rents, because apparently if anything is done to touch it, if anything is done to adjust it, it will just crash out the real estate business in Enugu. And what use is that? What use is that? Anyways, let's take it to the papers this morning. Let's look at all the national developments and other things happening around the nation this morning. State of emergency, another explosion rocks gas facility in River State as militants reconvene. Okay, so barely last week, after a major explosion occurred on the Trans-Niger pipeline in Bodo Gokana local government area of River State, another explosion has reportedly occurred at the Soku oil facility in Akuku Toru LGA of the state, that is River State. Now, raising the alarm on the latest development, the youths and the Environmental Advocacy Center, that is a grassroots non-government organization with a strong presence in communities across Niger Delta, has confirmed that it has received, listen to this, it has received information in the early hours of yesterday of an alleged explosion at Soku oil facility in Akuku in Toru local government area, operated by Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas LNG Limited. All right, that story, goes on and on, but everybody's still wondering if something is really wrong, or have the Niger Delta militants reconvened themselves again. But this story is claiming that there is a militant reconvenance, and that is what the news is saying this morning. Police inspector runs amok and kills one, injures two, and holds colleague hostage in Calabar. Inflation. Manufacturers record 90.6% rise in cost of sales. It continues to go quite up. We've been told that petroleum is looking to make climbs of its own in the coming days, considering that the Nigeria and Dangote oil Naira crude deal is over. And it's been predicted that the price of petroleum and related products are about to do another skyrocket. We don't know how much, we don't know by how far, but we've been informed. 2027, finding alternative political party is our main hurdle, says anti-parties. All right, under threat from Trump, Canada calls snap elections for April 28. Tax reforms, I'll eliminate regulatory bottlenecks and I'll boost MSMEs and its growth, says federal government. Finance Ministry secures 100 billion. That's in Naira. They've secured 100 billion Naira. All right, that story just kind of like went away. I'm still trying to find it. Just give me a moment. Oh, okay. Somehow they just kind of like cut me off like that. Okay, so finding alternative party is our main hurdle, says anti-Tinubu coalition arrangements. In case you don't know, other high state members and other top politicians in Nigeria and other top statesmen are joining forces together to create a coalition against the ruling party and the presidency against the coming election, well, which the ruling party has already warned everybody that they're wasting their time and that nothing will prevent the president from continuing his governance even after 2027. So, some people even believe that the coalitions might just be part of the play to keep other interested parties at bay, have everybody calm down to feel like there is really opposition, but it's not really an opposition, it's just, part of the problem. And Sowore is coming under a lot of scrutiny as most Nigerians are calling him out as being a bot in the system. What is a bot in the system? They're calling him out for being a part of the running administration. It's just that he's on the other side. It's called, an anti-party, but still state-sponsored. It's more like monitoring intelligence, where the party is criticizing itself on the side to kind of like put things at bay. You think it's the people who are necessarily running the opposition, but it's necessarily the party that's in power running this deliberate opposition on the side. There's a lot of theories and conspiracies around this whole opposition business. But from the look of things, it looks like Sowore personally is coming under the scrutiny with Nigerians not trusting him and, former involvements and former affiliations in the past that he has had. So Nigerians are just, very, skeptic about this whole opposition movement. We've seen how the parties are carrying on. We've seen the activities of the parties. We've seen what's happening at Labour Party. We've seen they have even more than 4 factions and sections. And we've seen these factions and sections happening in PDP as well. We have anti-party activities all over the place. And nobody's really playing up to the opposition of said opposition. Nobody's playing up to the part. Nobody's coming up to par with it. All we hear is statements being released at expected times, but no serious opposition. Nigerians are also worried about this development, right? We're wondering what's going on. Anyways, let's also look at the Daily Post this morning. Let's see what's also there. Anambra 2025, PDP in limbo as APC APGA strategize for November 8 polls. Still in Rivers State, look at this. Governor Fubara denies link to militant group, issues stern warning to bloggers. The man is no longer in the house. He no longer has authority. Rivers State now has a sole administrator. So I'm sure the man is somewhere trying to lick his wounds or something. That was such a huge thing that happened to him, and very bad for his self-esteem and all of that, very triggering. You would think he'd probably just take a rain check. But now it seems these bloggers are putting these blasts on him, and he has denied his link to these militant groups, and he has issued stern warnings to bloggers. Wow, there's a lot of things that's going to play out in Rivers State. Everybody is watching. Still in Rivers, restore Governor Fubara immediately. The Nigerian Bar Association calls on to the President Bola Tinubu. All right, Nigeria has failed in every score. This is coming from University Done. State of emergency, that's the law. Reps member Bashiru defends the voice vote. Okay, let's see if we can grab a couple more stories. The Alliance of Sahel. Okay, so the Alliance of Sahel states must demand reparations from France. All right, let's see if there are more important things to grab from here this morning. Okay, Northern Nigeria, 11 million people are facing acute
food insecurity in 6 states, says the WEP. Address unemployment, insecurity, and hunger. Methodist Church of Nigeria urges President Tinubu. All right, still about Rivers State. Obi tackles Tinubu's government for releasing allocation to sole administrator. A lot of conspiracies as well has followed this particular move, because what a sudden release of these funds to the sole administrator, and already he has begun work. That enough that we've seen on the internet. It's been in the media about how much work he has already put in the very few days that he's been in office. A lot of Nigerians find that to be very suspicious as well. But a lot of explanations that this government is not giving the people, and there is no way that we can find out. The legislature and the justice system is not able to help us address most of our national concerns and our national issues. So there are so many answers that we as a people might never get to know. We might, so many things that would never be explained to us. So it turns out this is one of those situations that we as a people might never get to understand, except the way we will try to analyze it to each other, try to make heads and tails out of it as a people. But that's the best we can do, considering that we as a people have never been able to demand accountability nor transparency from the people whom we give the power of leadership around here. Rather, what we give is worship. What we give is complete adoration. It's the way that we have been taught. It's our way. We do not demand for justice. We do not demand accountability. We do not demand for reason. You know, we explain, we even make the excuses ourselves. We define these things to ourselves. So there, it's easier for us to deal with. It's easier for us to handle. Even if it means us going into a denial, even if it means collectively we deny certain of our realities just so we can manage it. We have become such good managers over time. So it's difficult to now begin to say, you must tell us why you're making this decision. Nothing. The Senate conducted a voice vote. You know, it was done on voice notes, because the required number, about 103 senators or 104 senators, required to sit, right? About 63 of them appear, and we need 73 votes. So because the remaining who were not able to appear at the Senate House while these deliberations were happening had to send in their votes by voice, you know. A lot of people have argued how unprofessional this is, but the important thing, according to the Constitution, according to the Senate, is that this counts, this is valid, and it works. And it's working. And like I said, it seems we are a people that can not necessarily get explanation to certain things. And it's been that way with us for a while now. And it seems that it will continue. And questions have been riddled around the social media, with young people asking if the law prohibits the president from declaring another state of emergency in another state in the country, if there are any restrictions to repetitions. And lawyers have not been able to tell us if it's in the Constitution, or if it's constitutional for the president to declare more than one state of emergency in the country at a time. We want to find out from the lawyers who have this information. If the president, in Nigeria has the executive order to also declare other states in the country under emergency against certain situations. At this point, we're trying all angles, because we don't know what might happen next, because the possibilities are quite endless if you look at it. Are there other places that technicalities can be ruled over and things can happen? Because now we've been told that it's against the law this situation in River State. We've been told that it's not supposed to be that way. We've been told that it's not constitutional, that the situation is not hard enough for a state of emergency to be declared. But it's been declared. It's been sustained. It's been, constitutionally approved. So it's carrying on. The sole administrator is receiving funds that the state governor was denied. So apparently this is happening. So we are trying to figure out if there are more of this, if there's a possibility of seeing more of this in the future. Is there a chance that we might see other declarations? We've seen the testing of the waters, and now we're wondering how much it goes. Good morning to you.
Good morning, this is Barrister Chukwemeka calling from Enugu.
You're welcome, Barrister.
Yes, I'll search the Constitution.
Okay.
I'm here to see where President is empowered by the section of the Constitution to suspend an elected arms of the government.
Okay.
Nowhere at all. But President can declare state of emergency when there's a threat to peace and national assets, and deploy all the paraphernalia of forces to protect it.
Okay.
But not to suspend an elected
Official.
governor, an elected House of Assembly members. It's not there at all.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay.
I stand with the Nigerian Bar Association, the position of Nigerian Bar Association in this matter.
Okay.
We are calling on the Attorney General of Federation to come for debate and show Nigerians where they drive this power they are now using, from which section of the Constitution.
The Attorney General
Right in suspending an elected state executive. President don't have such power, and it's a serious breach of Nigerian Constitution.
But it's been carried out. How can it be fixed? Can it be fixed?
Yes, it can be fixed. Okay. It can be fixed by reversing it. It can be fixed. It's a two sentence that the state of emergency that led to the suspending of those elected arms of government. On that aspect, it can remove it and bring them back. While the use state police, army, and the rest of it to check and mine all those national assets as he claimed. You see, like I said before now, there are political undertone to all what is happening. Look at it. If they had Chief Justice of River State on the side, I bet you that you won't hear anything like state of emergency. Rather, you see the House of Assembly impeaching the governor, and they use state machinery to protect the entire place. Okay, can we just oppose it with what's happening in Zamfara, Katsina?
Okay.
And the rest of them.
Yes, Nigerians have wondered why we've not declared state of emergency.
State of emergency there.
States. In Yobe
State.
State.
Of people are being killed.
In Yobe State. Yobe State.
In Yobe State.
Yes.
Good. Why would they declare state? Is Yobe State not Nigeria? Is it not part of the Nigeria as empowered them by Section 305? Is it not part of the country? Hello?
I'm right here with you.
Okay.
Yobe State has been under fire since last year.
Good. Have you heard anything from them?
We've not
heard. See, what we are saying, what we are saying because we are being forced to say it. It's like in your introduction, we're not daft. They shouldn't toy with us. Yes, we may not be on street now to protest, but we will defend our vote when the time comes. When the time comes, we will mobilize Nigerians to die with them on that vote when they want to change it, because they knew they are not meeting the expectation of Nigerians. They knew that if Nigerians are allowed to cast their vote free and fair, none of these people will return to seats. They know about that. They have to use state machinery to make sure they impose themselves on people. This is completely outrageous. They don't need to go to this extent because they needed Rivers State because of the resources they have been getting from Rivers State. It's no longer a secret that the resources of Rivers State have been a determinant to whoever comes as a governor, as a president of this country. It's very unfortunate that that state has been subjected to go through these difficulties as against good governance that should be provided for them for having such natural resources given to them by nature. It's unfortunate that this is where we find ourselves. Okay, we have other states like Borno and some other places where terrorists have relaunched and taken some territories.
Yes.
Won't president now make a statement and suspend the elected institutions there and justify it by sending troops there? Is this not the proper thing? The proper thing should have been declaring state of emergency, but allow those people to stay. Because they don't have that power. It's not fair to us as people. I said it that these politicians are serious threat to democracy. Okay, look at the Senate. Senate now have up to third majority to pass this very declaration. They don't get it. It's not by voice vote.
They said they got it by voice vote. They said it is valid. You know, and you're in a better position to tell us if it is valid.
That is our argument.
Okay.
Which section of the Constitution that says that it is by voice vote? He said by 2/3. You must count it, 2/3. That is the explicit of that Constitution. My heart bleeds because when they get to Supreme Court, I'm getting crazy. As a lawyer, a practicing lawyer, that somebody went and they make a deposition on oath, took an affidavit, and they submitted it to court and tell the court that they have left this party to another party. We need to see which principle of law that turns it out. But today we have a judgment that said that the people that did it are not yet a member, not yet a member of another party. Whereas these are not adults, these are lawmakers, took an oath. Do you know the gravity of making an oath and registering it in court to have done or not to have done something? Is Supreme Court not telling us anything about it? We are still waiting. And that's why we're calling on Attorney General to come and tell us whether if there's a change in our jurisprudence with regards to these oaths. Because it's something so fundamental that it cannot be overlooked. They must tell us what happened. Otherwise, going to court, people will look at it. What will I advise my client? Even to challenge this very action. I wonder why this Fubara and his team have not done that, because Sarah have gone to court, some other persons. At the end of the day, court will say you don't have jurisdiction. You don't have locus to come into it. It is the Attorney General of Rivers State. In fact, Fubara himself, whose action of the president has affected with his debt, should go and challenge this. Let's see what the Supreme Court will tell us this time around.
All right, Barrister, thank you so much. Let's hear from other people who are trying to join us this morning. Thank you so much. It's okay. I actually appreciate you because it means that you are watching and you are bothered by what is happening. You know, this passion that you are seeing. We're not talking about these things because we don't have better things to do. It's just, are you seeing this thing? You know, it brings to focus the future of our democracy. It makes you think, it makes you worry, especially if you have become a responsible person in this country who has responsibilities, then these issues will concern you. Good morning to you. Hola, good morning.
Hello, good morning, how are you?
You're very welcome.
Yeah, the master is calling from Enugu.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the NDA calling for the reversal of the state of emergency.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a welcome development. Initially, I have said it before. NDA and Governors Forum, I expect them to challenge the state of emergency, particularly the power given to the president in 205. Particularly the power he has to suspend a governor, sitting governor. That's only challenge. Obasanjo, when he was in power, declared of emergency in Ekiti State. He moved the governor. Likewise, out of Plateau State, and nobody challenged it. You know, nobody challenged it. Today, it's been declared Rivers State. In fact, I want to align myself with Professor Wole Soyinka. He has faulted the Constitution. He said that That section gave enormous power to the president and money for amendment of that constitution in terms of emergency. Emergency has a lot encompassing.
So what do you have to say about now that the sole funds of River State has been released to this sole administrator within a few days of him being sworn in? What do you think about that idea? Because it's made Nigerians to worry, to wonder if it is very deliberate. It's looking like it's very deliberate.
The nature absorbs vacuum. People of River State must survive. They must move on.
I know that you are in support of the state of emergency because you agree that it is helping to, bring down the situation and, make it subtle. So we're wondering, Fubara was able to run the government without any of these allocations or any of these allowances coming in from the federal.
I told you that democracy collapsed in River State. Imagine a state that was no budget.
But I just want you to share your thoughts on the particular part where the sources has been withheld allocations and resources have now been released to IBAS.
The allocation was the order for the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Yeah, it was ordered for the Supreme Court.
So on what grounds have the Supreme? Do you know on what grounds the Supreme Court has reversed the order?
The issue of the campaign carpeting by members of the State House of Assembly or maybe Session of Assembly, I had wanted River State the government to pursue the logical position in the Supreme Court. That matter was not pursued. That matter was withdrawn. Right now, that issue is even hanging. We don't know whether somebody carpeting will lose his seat. I will have lost the Supreme Court to define it to its entirety. Likewise, this issue of suspending a governor or not during sort of emergency, it has to be pursued in the Supreme Court and need to be defined. It happened in the Ekiti State, it was not defined. It happened in President, it was not defined. It is not happening in River State, it's not defined. Okay. It will become a recurring decimal, and nobody is trying to take the bull by the horn. This issue has to be defined. The questions is, the people, it is two sides of the coin. You're either here or you're the other side of the coin. The president has no power, the president has power. There is need for the Supreme Court to define that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm here with
likewise, defining whether somebody sitting as a member of the House need to cross capital. It is being done almost on daily basis, and nobody has challenged it. The issue of challenging it was withdrawn by the River State government. I would love them to push that into a logical conclusion so that the Supreme Court will define it. So we can be. I totally align with Inka on what he said. That is the committee in the Constitution. That gave enormous power to the president, particularly that is subsection on E about 3E about on it.
Okay.
Where he was speculating that the impending doom, the impending disaster, impending whatever, if you foresee any impending problem, that is giving the president enough too much leverage. I think we need to get that on. We don't just be crying, everybody's dancing.
So this ultimate power, I just want to, let's have a constructive conversation. This ultimate power that someone like Wole Soyinka has also approved, by stating so many facts as what has given the president the power to do this. Do you think that the president has the right to declare state of emergency in other states that he deems maybe not he doesn't deem them secure enough? Do you think that the president can probably declare a state of emergency? Let's take, for instance, a state like Lagos. If there is a little dispute there, would you agree if the president continues to use his executive powers in this manner?
Yeah, the Constitution has given him that power. As I told you, Obasanjo did it in Ekiti State. Obasanjo did it in Plateau State when he was in power. Have you ever watched it? And nothing happened.
Okay, all right.
The Constitution, Obasanjo did it in Ekiti State. He removed the fire share of the governor of they removed when they wanted to remove the governor of there was a crisis between the State House of Assembly and the governor, and they had to intervene, get sort of emergency, which he wanted to, even in a national broadcast, extend another 6 months, which distinguished and in the money, called members and stop him from doing that. Another goal I have is the Constitution giving 6 months. 6 months is too much. The Constitution, in the past 6 months, it can be a little bit elaborate. Yeah, it can be 3 months, probably 3 months, and you start to review. And that is where I love what the Senate did. It now has compelled the president to review it downward. If there is need, the president should not wait until it is 6 months. Can be 1 month, can be 2 months. If there is any, if there are issues of improvement, the president can reverse it to 1 month, 2 months, and instead the people that are in power there. You get what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah, the issue remains that democratic institution in Rivers State collapse. That is the main issue.
Okay.
And now, if there is improvement, the president must not allow you to linger for 6 months.
It's
Okay,
all right. Thank you very much. Very, very thoughtful. Thank you for
thank you very
joining
much.
us this morning. Appreciate your views and thoughts this morning. Remember that when you do call, that you need to keep your comments simple and civil so that we don't break any rules while we're trying to do the right thing. Chizoba Onoha has also dropped a comment on the YouTube and he says, please play for me that song that says, which way Nigeria. Okay, you can still drop your text messages and your WhatsApp messages this morning with our phone lines just in case you cannot speak where you are this morning. 0706-048-5853. You can also call 0915-570-8347. Don't forget that we are also live on YouTube. Please follow our page at High Voltage News. Like, subscribe, and please help us there. Okay, we will soon read you a few stories from our investigated stories this morning, but let's hear from you. Good morning.
Memphis, good morning.
Oh, good morning. You're just waking up. How are you feeling?
I'm good. Justice from my wife.
You're very welcome.
Memphis,
Do tell.
this Fubara issue has lingered for long now.
Yes.
And it's high time we put a pause on this issue. Fubara started the whole thing.
Oh my.
Just like I told you last.
Mm-hmm.
He started the whole thing. He should finish what he started. He should not bring us along with him in his wahala. He should not bring us along. We did our own, Jeje. You go collect a title on agreement. You collect title on agreement. You don't want to do the agreement. Huh? I said it before. When you mortgage your conscience, you are as good as a dead person.
Oh, wow.
You are as good as a dead person. Fubara should finish what he started and leave the people alone.
I hear you. So, okay, but wait a minute. You know now that they've released the funds, that's River State withheld funds. They've released it to the new sole administrator, Ibas. They have released it to the man. And this is what actually got Nigerians talking this morning because so many people have also come against the government for releasing the funds to him, making allegations that it's very political and it looks deliberate, you know, considering the speed at which those funds were released to the sole administrator.
Mavis, everything is politics. We don't know when these people started this thing. We don't know. So is he trying to crowd foul now? Is because if he was intended with what they were saying or the agreement, do you think we should have heard and we would have heard anything?
You see, a lot of people have also insinuated.
Are there not people, some of his colleagues who are fulfilling their agreement? Didn't he ask questions?
He said, didn't he ask questions?
Didn't he ask questions?
Okay.
He brought this to himself. He should not bring the people into it. Finish what you started and leave the people alone. If you are not a man of conscience, if you are a man of conscience, you need to accept any illegal agreement binding on the people. Now you want to bring the people along now. Fubara, face your music. I'm not singing along with you, and I will never sing along with you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Justice, for calling in this morning. I appreciate that a whole lot. You still have just about 5 to 6 minutes to be a part of the program. You can call in, you can text, you can also send a WhatsApp message. You can drop your comments on YouTube and be a part of this analysis this morning. A lot of people have also wondered why the people of River State have remained calm and silent. We've not had any protests
In fact, I've seen a few of my friends in Port Harcourt, even journalists like myself, asking Rivers people to stay out of it. You know, this argument that people like D. Martins and Justice has about this situation and saying that he went into this arrangement and he knew the consequences. In fact, young people, the Gen Z, are asking him to look up past question papers from former governors who had such arrangements with their predecessors before they came into power. Some people are trying to, you know, put some comedy into it, and we're trying to put our heads and see if we understand this particular brand of politics. Good morning.
Morning.
Are you there? You're welcome.
Oh, I'm fine. How are you, ma?
You're welcome.
I love your prayer. I just want to say I love you.
Oh, thank you very much. What's your name?
My name is Joy.
Joy. Joy from New Haven. Thank you very much. Keep listening. All right?
Okay.
All right. Have a beautiful day. I love when young people are interested, because if you are interested, then you know. When you know, you can take better decisions, especially those of you who are going into the university, you're trying to get into the workforce. Stop acting ignorant. Get some information. Understand the policies that are shaping your future. Get involved. Good morning.
Morning. Sorry, I called back.
You're welcome back.
Thank you. I mean, it's a settled matter that by Supreme Court, that once you left the party upon which you were elected for another party, automatically you've lost your seat. It's a settled case. There's so many cases on that. So there's no ambiguity with respect to that. But my question is now, Supreme Court said the allocation should not be released to Rivers State except if it's the governor represented the budget, and on local government that should not be released until elected local government put in place and all that.
Okay.
Now, an administrator has been appointed, which there's nothing like administrator in this our constitution. And they have released the fund. Has Supreme Court overruled itself again for the executive to have released that fund to that impostor? As far as we are concerned by law, that man sitting there is an illegal man. He's occupying that position illegally, and his out of office is an illegal thing. This is the impunity we are talking about. Fubara may have had thousands of agreements. It's not our business. Our business is strict fluence to the Constitution. For the man saying that there's elected, the collapse of elected government in Rivers State. How? The executive are there. Some lawmakers on their own, voluntarily on their own, not by any incident, went to court, make a deposition, and went to and tell people that they have joined APC, and they were well received. Television everywhere. Nigerians were seeing it. How then can you now come back to tell me that it's not enough until you see the register of that party where they belong? Before this, come on, we're not daft now. We have sense. We have the ones in our vein now. Let them tell us this kind of thing. We go to school now. We know all these things now. You see what former president said. It's like an India proverb.
Oh yes, good luck, Jonathan.
Jonathan, the India proverb that says that it is always very easy to wake somebody who is at sleep, but very difficult to wake somebody who pretends to be sleeping. It's very clear. They don't want to do the proper thing. They can't be driving us. Thank you for providing us this opportunity, even though they have all what it takes to do it the way they want. But at least we have seen an avenue where we can tell them we know what they are doing. Let them be doing it now. That's the time Constitution gave us to remind them all what they are doing now. That's the time. That the time is fast coming. Definitely one day it will come. You understand? So let them not play this gallery. It's not about confusing Nigerians, which they are very good in doing. They did it they remove Jonathan, we saw how they destroy our economy.
All right, Barrister, I have to let you go.
So,
My time is up.
thank you.
All right, Barrister, thank you very much. I appreciate the legal perspective that you gave on this matter this morning, and I like that you said that you're standing with the NBA, with the Nigerian Bar Association this morning. Every well-meaning Nigerian has tried to call the federal government to order and call the Senate to order as well. The implications of these decisions, the implications of these attitude is what everybody is worried about. It's not the early stages that's the problem, it's the maturity. You know, we've seen things like this around here grow arms and legs, and that's what young people are worried about. If this is not curtailed, if this is not controlled, who is next? And what's the future? What's the plan? Because already we know the economy is continuing to stifle and hold everybody down, and it's choking. That part is like we're even making peace with it. But this infringement and power abuse and abuse of human rights, and you know, the deterioration of the rule of law, the complete abandon of the justice system, the chaos is what Nigerians are worried about. And we continue to revel in these thoughts as we continue to try to find a way out of the collective trouble we seem to have found ourselves in. My name is Mavis Atudume. I'd like to appreciate you for joining me this morning on the program. I appreciate you. I hope that you followed us on Facebook at Volt 104.3 FM and also on YouTube at High Voltage News. Please remember to like, to subscribe, and also to share the contents that you will find there. Breaking news, updated stories, documentaries, everything that you need to know to keep you updated as someone who is interested in finding out how to be a proper citizen of Nigeria who has the interest of this nation at heart. When you're out there today minding your own business, please remember to be kind to yourself first, and then to share some with your neighbors and the people around you. Stay loved. My name is Mavis Atudume. Have a good morning.